I know nobody's watching this yet, so I'm just gonna wait a second. And let's hope my phone doesn't overheat since it's in this little pouch. So, I don't know how many people have seen not only the community tab, but on Facebook. Have you guys seen my posts on social media, like every day on Instagram and on Facebook? I have been posting these little updates that are called like the Swimsuit Sermon Challenge, because you all know that my favorite thing in the world is to piss off Pharisees, right? I love doing it. It gives me joy. It makes me happy, right? So, anyway, I've been posting these little updates because I want to lose like a bajillion pounds so that I can do a whole sermon not like from the neck up in a swimsuit, because I know so many people get so bent out of shape over what women wear all the time. I'm called a Jezebel, I'm called a harlot, like every day. I'm gonna be like blinded by the sun over here. So anyway, I wanted to bring up a little bit why I harp on this all the time. Like, why am I so big about being against like the whole modesty crew? Because they really don't understand what modesty is. Modesty is not about what you wear, it's about the insides, right? Like a quiet and gentle spirit. And when we say quiet, that doesn't mean like you can't speak. It's like you're not belligerent. You're not like what is called like a Karen today. So that is one of the reasons that I harp on this, because so many people put their focus on what you're wearing on the outside, and they're like, oh, well, if you're covered up, that somehow makes you holy and righteous. Whereas if you're in a swimsuit, all of a sudden, oh, now you're a harlot. And that's a problem, because I think about the Gadarene demoniac. Do you guys remember when Jesus was going to the Gadarenes? I hope I'm still alive, because I cannot see my screen. Do you remember when Jesus went to the Gadarenes and they crossed the other side, and immediately they were met by a man and another man who were in the tombs, and they were naked and they were cutting themselves? And what happened? Immediately, the demons inside this man, Legion, addressed Jesus, and they're like, what do you want to do with us? You know, and Jesus was the first thing that he thought of, like, wow, this dude's naked in front of me, or the dude he's with who they've been living in the tombs, oh look, they're naked. No, the first thing that Jesus addressed were the demons inside of this man. And I feel like so often in the church today, if the Gadarene demoniac came inside the church, the first thing everybody would notice was, we need to get this man out because he's naked, instead of addressing his problem, which is he's full of demons. So that's my big issue. It's like so many people, they look at the outside, not even realizing what is the real issue that we need to address here. Is it their clothes? Is it the fact that they're naked? Or is it the fact that, hey, they need deliverance? And the outside is such like a huge topic in the church today, and there's no reason for it. You know, there's people overseas, like I remember when I was in Hawaii earlier this year, and when the missionaries came over, you know, people weren't dressed in 19th century like cotton dresses and wool suits. No, like you're dressed for the climate, and not all native, I guess, attire is sexual. Like, just because you don't have, you know, a top on or whatever doesn't necessarily mean it's sexual. I know it's the same thing in a lot of places in Southeast Asia, and it's a real problem for a lot of missionaries to get over the fact, like, hey, these people need to hear the message of the gospel. They don't need to hear like, hey, you need to dress like a Westerner, or hey, you need to cover up. So that's one of the reasons that I wanted to talk about it. But not only that, it's not just about the fake modesty crowd. Because remember, the Pharisees were covered from head to toe, and they were the most immodest people, like the biggest bunch of hypocrites in the universe. So it doesn't matter that they were covered up, like still had a horrible heart, terrible spirit. But the other thing is, and I've harped on this a lot, is a lot of Christians are afraid to get medical care. They're really like, there's just, they don't like needles, they don't trust doctors, whatever. And a lot of people will not go see a doctor because they're afraid of basically having to undress, or having a doctor see them in states of undress. And they get so uncomfortable about it to the point where it's like they won't even go and seek out medical care for issues, because it's like they are afraid of somebody seeing them without a shirt on. Like your doctor, like a gynecologist, is gonna have to see you without underwear on. Like a proctologist, he's gonna have to see you without your underwear on. But it's not sexual, and there's times where the body needs to be exposed to the right people so that you can get medical care. And it's just frustrating for me as a Christian to see so many other Christians get the wrong ideas about the human body, to the point where it's detrimental to their health, where all of a sudden they're not going to go get medical care because they're afraid of exposing themselves, because they've only been taught that the body is sexual. So that's one of the other reasons I want people to, stop seeing the body as a purely sexual thing. It's not. It's not. Like, there's practical uses for your body. You don't need to be covered up all the time. Sometimes it's a hindrance to be covered up all the time. It can kill you. But I just want people to start getting comfortable, like, seeing doctors, seeing medical professionals. I mean, just today I had to go to a sports massage therapist because I've had an injury since I had a car accident a couple years ago, and you're basically just in your underwear, and it doesn't bother me at all. Like, obviously they cover you with a sheet, but it's like, I know so many Christians would be so uncomfortable with that. But it's like, if you have an injury, like a muscle injury, you have to go see somebody. So what are you going to do? Just not get your medical issue taken care of because you feel weird about your body? So anyway, I'm just trying to break down those barriers in the most obnoxious way possible, I guess, because you guys know how I feel about Pharisees. But anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you. Every day I post like a little update on Instagram or Facebook about like what I'm doing to get towards my goal of like doing this sermon in a swimsuit. So if you want to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, it's just like at Rachel and Stevens. But let me know down in the comments, like, what were you guys taught about modesty and like going out to swim, or seeing medical professionals, like as a woman or a man? I mean, like, what have you been taught in your churches about these issues? Because I know so many people in the church are super uncomfortable with the thought of seeing medical professionals if they have to undress at all, and they're just like, well, I just won't go see a doctor at all. And it's like, God works through doctors. Please go see a professional. Don't let this be the hindrance to getting the help that you need. Don't let that stop you from seeing somebody that God can work through to get your issues solved. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you guys, and I cannot see the screen whatsoever. So I will talk to you guys later, okay? Bye.